The tension in the studio was unmistakable. The brightly lit stage, the spinning wheel, and the unmistakable background music of Wheel of Fortune had all played their part to get to this moment. The final round had just concluded. Confetti hadn't fallen yet. But there was that tiny pause, that beat, just before everything exploded in celebration. And in that moment, as the letters of the final puzzle popped up, a piece of the ACTION. So bit of victory that no one quite expected. 70? No, wait. $69,000. Pat Sajak's voice rang out across the studio for one of the last few times before his impending retirement. The contestant, Greg Langston, a 34-year-old high school biology teacher from Scottsdale, Arizona, froze for half a second. His mouth dropped open, his hands floated in the air, as if unsure what to grab first. His face, the podium, or perhaps thin air. And then, out of pure shock, he started dancing. Except it wasn't really a dance. It was a flurry of shoulder jerks, knee bounces, and a sort of Frankenstein-style arm shuffle that could best be described as the emergency chicken dance. The audience erupted, not because the moves were good. They weren't. Not even close. But because they were so perfectly Greg. He threw in a couple of hops, then tried what might have been a version of the robot. It looked more like he was trying to imitate a malfunctioning vending machine. His glasses nearly slid off his nose as he spun in a half circle, pumping his fists like a wind-up toy. The camera cut to the audience, where Greg's partner, Mallory, was laughing so hard she was wiping away tears, her hands over her mouth in a mix of disbelief and secondhand embarrassment. The moment was golden, and then it became even more so. Because stepping into frame from stage left, arms slightly raised like he wasn't totally sure this was a good idea, was Ryan Seacrest. Yes, Ryan Seacrest. The incoming host of Wheel of Fortune had been making shadow appearances here and there in recent weeks, mostly in backstage interviews and social media teasers. But this was his first time actually stepping foot on stage during a live taping, even briefly, with the cameras still rolling. He was supposed to just observe, but something about Greg's chaotic enthusiasm was too contagious to ignore. Seacrest raised a single eyebrow. Then, without a word, he mimicked one of Greg's shoulder wiggles. Greg turned, startled, and then broke into a wide grin. "I have no idea what I'm doing," Seacrest laughed, clearly trying to follow along as Greg attempted a double hop fist pump combo. "You're doing it better than me," Greg shouted over the laughter of the studio audience. What followed was perhaps the most unexpected and oddly heartwarming moment in recent game show memory. The two men, side by side, performed a kind of impromptu, awkward dance battle that seemed to ignore rhythm, style, and logic entirely. Pat Sajak, standing a few feet away, leaned back with a grin, arms folded, watching his future successor be pulled into this spontaneous swirl of movement. Seacrest clumsily mimicked the vending machine arm wave. Greg countered with what might have been a moonwalk. On roller skates, they circled each other. Greg tried to spin. He nearly tripped on his own feet. Seacrest reached out to steady him, and they both fell into a friendly embrace, still laughing. That's when the confetti finally dropped. It shimmered like falling glitter as the studio lit up in color and sound. The crowd rose for a standing ovation, not just for the win, but for the joy of it all. And maybe, just maybe, because everyone could tell, this was more than just a $69,000 jackpot moment. This was fun, unfiltered, goofy, human. It was the kind of television that didn't need perfect production or perfectly rehearsed lines. It was the moment when two men, one an average contestant with some truly bizarre moves, the other one of the most polished media personalities in the world, found themselves laughing, dancing, and celebrating the randomness of life. Backstage, the crew was abuzz. The director could be heard chuckling through the comms. "I hope to God someone gifted that already," a production assistant whispered. "That's gonna go viral." They were right. Within the hour, clips of Greg's dance and Seacrest's cameo were already trending on X and TikTok. One user captioned a video with, "Wheel of Fortune just became Dancing with the Awkward Stars. 10/10 no notes." Another added, "Ryan Seacrest entering his goofball era? I'm here for it." But beyond the memes, beyond the social media frenzy, there was a genuine affection for the moment and what it seemed to symbolize. Pat Sajak's time on the show was winding down. The iconic host had been a steady presence for over 4 decades. His transition out meant more than just a personnel change. It meant the end of an era. And in that tiny window of ridiculous joy, Ryan Seacrest proved something that went beyond professionalism or experience. He could play. He could roll with the unexpected. He could laugh at himself. And perhaps most importantly, he was willing to lean into the human moments. Later that evening, after the taping wrapped, Greg spoke with a few entertainment reporters in the studio lot. Still flushed from the experience, he was visibly glowing. "I didn't know what else to do," he said of the dance. "It just kind of happened." And Ryan? "I didn't even realize he was on the stage until I saw the studio lights glint off his teeth," Greg joked. "Next thing I know, I'm doing the robot with the host of American Idol. What is life?" Seacrest, meanwhile, posted a short clip to Instagram that night. It showed Greg's first 2 dance moves, followed by Ryan's confused attempt to mirror them. The caption read simply, "I wasn't ready, but I'm glad I showed up. Congrats, Greg." Thousands of comments poured in, with fans already embracing this glimpse into the future dynamic of the show. Seacrest is bringing big little brother energy. I love it. Pat is passing the baton with a confetti cannon. What a legacy. Can every winner get a dance-off now? Make this a thing, please. Producers for Wheel of Fortune haven't confirmed whether such celebrations will become a new tradition under Seacrest's reign, but insiders say there's real conversation around incorporating more spontaneous, contestant-led celebrations into the show. Greg Langston, for his part, said he has no regrets, awkward arms and all. "I might have embarrassed myself a little," he laughed, "but I'm walking away $69,000 richer and with the wildest story of my life." And maybe that's the real win. Because sometimes in the bright lights of a game show stage, with thousands watching and decades of tradition behind you, the most powerful thing you can do is let go, flail your arms, and just dance it out, especially if Ryan Seacrest decides to join you. As one viral tweet put it, "Only on Wheel of Fortune can you win big, dance like a dork, and accidentally launch America's new favorite duo." Cue the music. Cue the applause. Cue the confetti. In the days that followed, Greg's dance lived on across morning shows, memes, and even late-night monologues. One clip in particular, Seacrest trying to copy Greg's 2-step shuffle and nearly tripping over a confetti cannon cord, was replayed on The Tonight Show, with Jimmy Fallon dubbing it the most charming trip of 2025. Even Dancing with the Stars chimed in on Instagram, jokingly offering Greg a spot on next season's cast, to which he replied, "Only if Ryan's my partner." Meanwhile, Seacrest's willingness to lean into the goofy energy solidified something many viewers had been wondering. Could he really fill Sajak's shoes? After that moment, the answer was a resounding yes, not because he was perfect, but because he wasn't afraid to get a little ridiculous to celebrate someone else's joy and to make space for laughter. And Greg? He's now affectionately known online as the dancing bio teacher. Not a bad legacy for a guy who came for the puzzle and left with the party.